Welcome back to the Everything Goes podcast with your host, TAK. A weekly podcast with the latest sports news, the hottest of the hot takes, and the best predictions you can get. Now, Chris, Ace, take it away.
1995 is the last time the Dallas Cowboys have been to the NFC Championship, and that drought continues as down goes Dallas. Eagles finish the season 1-6. Down goes the Eagles. Pete Carmichael gone for the Saints. Bill gone from New England, maybe going to Atlanta. Stroud and Baker absolutely shine along with Jordan Love as the Packers just continue to groom great quarterbacks, even though everyone bashed him all year. Love, how you doing? You know, is Wilson going to be traded from Denver? Is Mike Tomlin going to be staying in Pittsburgh? We had an amazing wild card round. I mean, this offseason is going to be an
how long have you been waiting to say that? All day
banger.
you're practicing that in your mirror, right?
Well, and then look at last week, all the coaches too that are available.
The Saints only have 25 wins in the last 3 years.
Who's got it better than us? Not Dallas. I'll tell you that. Plenty of room on the couch, baby.
You know.
All right, welcome back, guys.
You know when you fall down, you get a scab. You know, and just every year you pick that scab up. You know, you get used to it. You know, you really do get used to it.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 197. Everything Goes with TAK, baby, in the house. We are on Eastern time. We are on Central time. We are on Mountain time, baby. Welcome to you on a Tuesday night here.
Covering all the time zones.
How y'all doing today? Welcome back. Good weekend. I didn't have work yesterday.
Same.
I didn't either.
Chris, yeah, we were all off. Sweet.
Dude, but it's been so cold here. It's been like -16 to -30. So we haven't been doing anything.
It's been cold here too. It's been in the 60s and 70s.
Well, and Chris, I'm guessing you were in mourning in the last 48 hours anyways, so.
No, you know what?
Saw the sunlight.
Hey, I saw that.
Seriously.
Snowed in Pennsylvania too.
As a Cowboys fan, you just, you know what? You know you're going to be one of the best teams in the regular season, and you know that something bad's going to happen in the playoffs. You just it's a never-ending story, and everybody wants to fire Mike McCarthy, but you know what? Mike McCarthy, like I said to you guys before he came on, he's second in wins the last 3 years, only one win behind Kansas City at 36. The guy's doing his job, and at some point you got to blame the players. You just can't keep firing coaches. Ask Philly; they want to fire their coach after the Super Bowl last year. It's crazy.
Those wins are nice, but the big wins are the ones that are important.
Yeah, but how many big wins has Minnesota gotten? How many big wins has the Saints gotten in the last 10 years?
We go. No one's crapping on your team. Settle down there. I've had more big wins than you in the past 10 years.
You've been practicing your hate.
At the end of the day, none of us are losers because none of us play for the team. So we're all winners. Because I didn't lose. You didn't lose. I mean, my team lost. Your team lost. That's what matters, you know. But listen, no one's hating your team. I know it's still a little bittersweet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I watched the Bucs destroy the Eagles, and I was like, if the Saints would have just won the division, they probably would have done the same thing.
Look, I honestly handle it better than I used to as a younger man. It is what it is, man. It's just like you see these people breaking their TVs and throwing their merchandise away and breaking flags. I'm not stupid enough to do that. I mean,
I saw a Skip tweet, man. It looked like he was going through it.
He acts for clicks.
Ty, is it true you created the burner account though to go after your dad during the game?
Listen, man, I was trolling my dad on Twitter, and it was
no. That's
it was hilarious.
Okay, that's fake news. Settle down, CNN. Okay, if you're trolling me, you're gonna actually tag me in that post. I had to see a response from Reinhardt to see what you wrote. Okay, so if you're trolling, you actually would have tagged me.
I'm in a group chat.
I had to open it up.
I'm in a group chat with my brother, my two buddies, and two of them are Dallas fans. I texted my one other buddy. I was like, man, it is awfully quiet in this group chat right now.
Oh,
listen, I'll be honest, man. This whole weekend of wildcard games was insane, and I've seen so many players tweet it, and we've talked about it countless times on this podcast that it doesn't matter what your record is during the year. If you can get your foot into the playoffs,
absolutely
anything can happen. Look at Tampa Bay. What were they, 9-7? I think they finished 9-8 or something like that. They looked amazing against the Eagles. I mean, granted, the Eagles finished 1-6 to end the year. Congrats to Jason Kelce, instant Hall of Famer, by the way, who just retired. It's very sad to see as some of these players that I have watched my whole entire life are slowly retiring even more and more. I mean, the Lions and the Rams, the Steelers and the Bills, the Packers and the Cowboys, the Dolphins and Chiefs, Browns and Texans. I mean, We saw a rookie quarterback flip a franchise this year, and he's advancing. Like there's just so much that we've watched. There's been so much in the news this week that it's just all building up to a monstrous offseason. Every single offseason we say this offseason is better. How can it get better?
You know what sucks though? The thing that sucks is you have all these platforms now and internet, and you can't get away from it. You can't get away from fire this guy, fire that guy. Look, the Packers were an amazing team. I know they have more playoff wins in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do. They're 5-0 against us. The Packers are the youngest team since the 1974 Bills to make the playoffs. Jordan Love is the first quarterback to lead his team in his first year to the playoffs and win a game. He's the first quarterback to win his first. Well, he's the third quarterback in Packers history to win their first playoff appearance. Him, Favre, and Lynn Dickey. It is what it is. It is what it is. But you know what? At the end of the day, you have to go to work the next day, and it's kind of hard when you're Packer. The guy in the next row from you is a Packers fan.
Let me ask you a couple questions here, and this isn't hate towards your team. This is just for all the people that listen to this podcast that probably have questions about Dallas. You strongly push against firing head coaches. You threw a crazy idea at me earlier that we'll talk about. But you look
crazy. It's only crazy if you don't like it.
You look at Dallas. I think they were undefeated at home this year. Like you said, Mike McCarthy has had like the highest winning percentage past 3 years, and consistency is awesome. Consistency. I mean, there's teams out there that would kill to have a coach and a team that would be consistently above 500 every year. You have a quarterback that's getting paid a lot of money. I mean, and again, this is no hate towards Dallas, but at what point are you like, we can't win the big game? We can't get past the first round. When does it come into like, all right, maybe it is time for a new quarterback. Maybe it is time for a new coach, because the coach that we've had, yes, his winning percentage is amazing. Yes, he's not playing the game. I grant it, but y'all can't get past the first round. And that's like, but Dallas's weapons are amazing every year. Every year,
when do you put that on the players? I mean,
no, but you do.
Hold on a second. You have a coach that led you to 3 12-4 seasons. Okay, yes. You have a team that went 16-0 at home in the last 2 years. We have never allowed more than 38 points in a playoff game. We gave up 48 3/4. You have a quarterback who's an MVP talk ever since we got our butts kicked by the 49ers. Lays an egg and goes out there and actually shits himself. You have a CeeDee Lamb who's setting all these records for the Cowboys, is targeted 17 times and looks like he doesn't know how to catch a football. You have a defense that was solid all year long, ranked in the top freaking 8, top 10, top 5, whatever. You have a defensive coordinator that had us ranked and like first in a lot of categories, goes out there and plays 6 DBs, and we don't know how to tackle.
Yeah, where did they go wrong then? To Chris's or to Ty's point is like, what do you want to see? What happens next year? Because I don't honestly, I don't know if Dak's Dak's the guy.
And I want to add on that. I want to add on that
too,
because
you're stuck with Dak.
Because yes, you don't blame the coaches obviously, but also there is blame to the coaches, because as a coach, and I've heard Dennis Allen say this week in and week out, which obviously isn't a great example, but as a coach's job, it's his job to put the best and prepare the best for the players week in and week out. And what I'm asking you is for the Dallas fans out there that are listening to this, like, how do you get over that hump? Like you just said, every year Dallas is a top 5, top 10 team. And I saw that with Drew Brees too. You're one of the best teams in the league every year, and then you just can't get past that first round, especially for Dallas. Like they just, for some reason, can't get past that first round.
Well, the thing is like you have to start looking at the GM. You really do. I mean, you have a great guy that drafts well, Will McCray, but you have Cowboys ownership that is a part of that. You don't let your GM do his job. So you're building a great team for the regular season and to win the NFC East, but you're not building a team like the 49ers and the Eagles who take that next step in the playoffs and are one of the best teams in the league. I don't know how you fix it. You're stuck with Dak. He's a $59 million cap hit next year.
I don't know if Jerry Jones still wants to compete at a high level. I don't necessarily think you get rid of Dak, but I mean, I as a fan, if I was a Dallas fan, I would be like, maybe a new offense coordinator. Maybe you keep Mike McCarthy, but you get an offense coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, because sure, you don't want to hit the reset button because you guys have been consistent 3 years in a row, but you need something that will take from the regular season into the playoffs.
Why a new offensive coordinator? You had an offense that was ranked in the top 3 all year.
But it's not translating into the playoffs.
Statistically year, but that's the players. There comes the point where you have to blame the players who are making $50
All right,
million dollars.
then blame Dak. Don't bring it back.
Yeah, I am blaming Dak. I mean, he threw a pick six. He was forcing the ball to CD, who couldn't catch a ball to save his life.
Is Dak your guy next year?
He has to be.
Does he have to be? You can get out anything nowadays.
You taking that $59 million dead cap hit?
Somebody might.
No one's taking that, Ty.
Listen,
no one's taking that.
All I'm saying is that there
that.
are ways to get out now. We've seen it happen all the time. We talk about there's no way someone's taking that contract. There's no way this guy's getting traded. And it happens.
Look, I'm going to tell you exactly what I've been saying all year long. We had to get more weapons involved. Sure, Cooks got involved late in the season, but when you go there and you target CeeDee Lamb 17 times in a game, and your second best option is Ferguson, where was Gallup? Gallup showed up in that game, but where was he all year? You can't keep focusing.
Does that go into coaching?
But no, it goes to Dak's decision making.
Yep.
When you get to the playoffs, you're playing the best of the best. They see your tape, they study you. So what do? They double CD. He forced balls into CD, and he had guys underneath wide open, but he still forced the CD and throws picks. That's a quarterback problem. He's got to fix that. He's got to go through his reads and his progressions. He just can't target CD. It's the players.
Also, I think an underrated aspect of the Packers is that offensive line was fairly healthy most of the year, and they didn't have Bakhtiari. Like Bakhtiari, I don't know what it was. Something happened with his leg last year, 2 years ago, and he's just kind of had those like rehabilitating problems with it. That offensive line really, or the defensive line of the Cowboys really didn't touch him up much.
And where was our cornerbacks and safeties? I mean, the average separation between receivers and cornerbacks was over 5 yards. They had plays where the safeties, they were confused, and the receivers were wide open for big games. You know what? The Cowboys had their best opportunity this year, and I know we said this before, but you had the number 2 seed, you had a path away from the 49ers, and you blew your opportunity.
Yeah.
You blew your opportunity because we laid an egg.
Yeah.
Well, Aiden Hutchinson said after their win, we wanted to play Dallas. We wanted to have that rematch, but hey, we got another home game, so we're all on board with that. I agree with you, Chris. I feel like watching that game, the offense, the players failed them, and to your point, I think the coaches on the defensive side didn't help them out a lot on the players.
I mean, was Dan Quinn thinking ahead? I mean, he's got like 6 freaking job interviews. I mean, was he thinking ahead to those?
I think what's tough.
The cream always rises to the top. Dallas just never gets all the way to the top. Our elevator don't go to the top floor for some reason.
I think what's just so tough, man, is the coaches or someone needs to get Dak to transfer what he does in the regular season to the playoffs. Because what's frustrating is Dak is a great quarterback during the year, and he just is. I mean, I would love to see his playoff stats and his playoff record, because it's like, how do you not? He's
2-6. How do
you put up MVP numbers? A lot of times, I mean, the past couple of years, and then you just cannot translate that into the playoff atmosphere.
The Cowboys are 5-13 since 1995 with 0 NFC Championship appearances. And the Packers, like I said before, have more playoff wins at AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do.
This is something that I'm going to throw out there too.
That's
is
a
like
crazy stat.
you look at a team like the 49ers. They never hit the reset button. They just build a good scheme where they can bring someone in there and still thrive. And as a football fan, I think you look at Dak, and I know you're like, we can't get rid of him. We're stuck with him. So be it. But as a football fan, after seeing Dak's playoff record 2-6, you don't press the reset button, but you get someone else in there and see if they can work it. Like how the 49ers kept their defense, kept their weapons, but have kind of filtered through a couple quarterbacks to find the right one. It's like Jerry Jones doesn't necessarily press the reset button because they still have a lot of great talent on that team. But Dak is not that quarterback that's going to take you to Super Bowl unless he can translate what he puts in the regular season into the playoff atmosphere.
Dak's not elite. And we talked about this before. There's not too many elite quarterbacks in the NFL. You see what Patrick Mahomes does with no receivers. He's not elite anymore. Okay, because what they do, they focused on Kelsey. They took Kelsey away, and then Mahomes is just Mahomes. Okay, I put this thing up on Twitter, and we talked about this before I came on. Some of you guys thought I was nuts, but put your GM hat on, and you think you have a $59 million cap hit for Dak Prescott. You have CeeDee Lamb, who's going to make over $30 million. You have Micah Parsons, who's going to make over $30 million. I came up with the idea and said, just to see what the Cowboys Nation would think, and we got over 1,000 views on it. would you be willing to trade Micah Parsons if you're going to get like 3 picks for him? And majority of them knows won it, but it was close. It was like 58 to 42%.
Yeah, roughly
And
60-40.
there comes a point where you can't put almost half of your salary cap into 3 players. You have to do something crazy like that. As crazy as it sounds, you can't. There's not one person on your roster on any of these teams that wins you a championship. It takes a team. So if I can better myself with 3 or 4 players for one, I don't care if he's the best player in football right now. Why not do it? Why is that such a bad idea? To me, it's not.
So to me, I'm just not getting rid of one of my best defensive players. I'm somehow getting rid of Dak. I'm going to re-sign CD and Mika and get a very cheap quarterback and roll that.
So now you're bringing in a quarterback with no experience
to keep my young talent. I mean, your young talent you want to keep, right? Like you want to grow the young talent and maybe bring a quarterback in that can thrive in that system. I mean, Dak clearly isn't doing it. So why would you try and keep Dak?
I'm keeping Dak. Because I don't think Dak is totally the problem. I think in all whole of this game, all 3 phases failed. We even missed a field goal, which was unheard of this year.
How confident do you feel that Dak could take you all the way?
I don't know if any. I honestly don't know if anyone's confident in your quarterback taking you all the way. It takes a whole team. It takes a team. Just like we talked about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was horrible the year Tom Brady went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win a game against a 500 or over team. They went into playoffs and they went on a run at the right time and won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. If your team is off, they're off. I mean, look at the Eagles, 10-1. They go what, 1-6 the rest of the way, or 1-5 the rest of the way? They're the first team in NFL history to go 0-for-11 on 3rd and 4th down in a playoff game and lose. It takes the whole team. It really does.
You see, their tush push didn't work either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got that.
But I honestly, if I'm the GM of my team right now, and I know the options I have, you're going to either have to tag Micah or you're going to have to tag CD. You have no running backs now because both Pollard and your backup are freaking free agents. I'm on the phone with the Bears and saying, what would you give me for Micah Parsons today? Just an idea, just to throw it out there. What if they gave you the 1st round pick and you trade that 1st round pick back to someone who needs a quarterback? And now you're sitting there with 2 1st round picks plus a day 2 pick. Who wins that?
Listen,
is Micah Parsons going to carry you to a championship by himself?
I'm not saying that's not a smart idea. Obviously it is, but I'm just saying like a guy that was dying to be a Dallas player and is 2-time All-Pro, 2021 Rookie of the Year, 3-time Pro Bowl in 4 years that he's been in the league.
Hey, all those stats get you good picks.
I just can't get rid of him.
NFL, well, I think most sports are similar where it's like you get paid off of your past production, whereas baseball, they pay you off future, right? Yeah. That's why the freaking stuff's guaranteed. They get all this stupid money. It's tough to say, Chris, but I don't know how. I want to agree with you, but it's hard because there's like Ty said, this dude is the team, the lifeblood of that whole defense of pretty much the entire team.
I mean, he puts that team on his back when he goes live on his stream and just defends that team with everything he's got. Listen, we have sat here and we've talked but
what did it get us? It got us another one and done.
Listen, yeah. I'm sorry, but who you taking, Dak or Jimmy G? You know what I mean? Like we go back to that conversation. I'm sorry, but the quarterback does not lead. But listen, he throws the ball. Like you said, didn't look at his reads. 2-6 in the playoffs. At what point is it he's not your guy?
But my thing is in this league, you're in an offensive based football league. Defenses really don't matter. They get penalized for everything. You breathe on a quarterback wrong. I would rather build my offense, which can get me 30 to 40 points a game, and hope my defense gets stops.
I don't know, though, because you look at teams that are being successful, like the 49ers that are building the good defense and allowing a quarterback just to kind of roll into a good scheme and just only have to throw 1 or 2 touchdowns a game.
Look, my whole thing is you're paying these quarterbacks so much money, it's hard to build a championship team. If you can pick up future draft picks any way you can. Look what the Oklahoma Thunder did. Look where they're at right now in the standings because of what they've done for years. They're trading away with good people and picking up all these 1st-round picks. Now they're a solid team. If you carry your team, and let's face it, all these GMs and owners, they're going to keep the Micah Parsons. They're going to keep the CDs because why? That brings in ticket revenue.
Mhm.
But if you want to build championships and stop looking at what your team's going to make financially and just go to championships like you should be doing, you're going to trade your valuable assets to
Yeah.
build these teams.
Like I
Because
said,
three players with three big contracts can't carry you to Super Bowl.
Who else? Do you have the list, Chris? Who else is free agents? I think you said the running backs. I'm guessing
Two
it's
running backs.
Gilmore.
I
Will
know
Pollard, Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore, Jordan Lewis, who are cornerbacks, who are starters. We have Neville Gallimore. We have Hankins, who are defensive tackles, who are starters. We have our left tackle, Tyron Smith. We have our starting center, Tyler Biotish. So, yeah, Demarcus Lawrence is another one. We're in trouble.
Listen, man, like you said,
and we're negative 11 mil in the cap space.
It's a good idea what you're saying. I think you got young talent. I think Dak has had his chance. I'm going to Dak and saying either you're helping us restructure your contract to help sign these players, or we're moving on from you because you just clearly aren't the guy right now. And it's either
you can't.
No, like I'm just saying,
you have to restructure them.
There is something that they can do, and I'm coming to Dak as a man. Like if I was Jerry Jones, it's like either you restructure and help us and prove to us that you can do this, or we're moving on because you have not been the guy.
See, next year is that they're out. After next year, they have an out to get out of his contract. But the problem is right now, when you restructure these guys, they want to be the next guy up. They want to have the next highest salary. And right now, what are we sitting at? 55 mil right now? 55 mil is what Joe Burrow's getting, or 56 mil a year. So Dak's guaranteed 59 million with the cap hit next year. So what do? You restructure him back 2 mil and make him 57 mil to be the highest paid quarterback in the league?
I don't know.
That's not going to get you anything.
I think that you can just, you've seen teams restructure. You've seen teams restructure in like very interesting ways. Like the Saints with Michael Thomas last year, he was guaranteed all that money. And then they said, hey, if you hit these little goals, you get that money. And he got injured. So that was a great win for the Saints. Same thing with Dak.
The problem is
listen, man, you get past that first round, you get a big bonus.
Not too many people want to do it. That's when
I'd be like, you know what, Dak? Then we're cutting you, and we're going to take that cap hit, unfortunately, because you're gone.
I mean, name one quarterback other than Brady that had a strong career that said, okay, I'm going to help my team out. There's not too many. Even Kirk Cousins, that guy's guaranteed, Mr. Guaranteed contract. You know, he's played it right. But the thing is Dak's 31. He's in his 8th year. You're not going to get anything for him. I mean, we got a third-round pick. We gave a third-round pick for Trey Lance, who's only 23, who was the third-round pick. I mean, a number 3
roll with
pick.
him too, man. See what he has. See what he has. Listen,
the thing is you got to ride with Dak until at least next year, and then you can get out of his contract.
It's going to be an interesting offseason because obviously we've already seen so many coaches get fired. I mean, there's so many coaching jobs available right now. Let's talk about this. Does Tua get extended or do they roll away?
They're extending them.
I saw the rumors that they want to extend him, but do you guys agree with that or no? I mean, they lost 7-26. They can't win against a team that's above 500 apparently.
Yeah, I think they'll extend him. Do I think he's deserving of it? Probably not. But they're a team that they're going to be around 500 with or without a decent quarter. Like they're going to have a decent quarterback where they're not going to really have a low draft pick the next handful of years. So
he's still young too.
Ride with him.
He's been like what 3 years in the league, 4 years in the league.
They lost Waddle. I mean, they lost Chubb on defense.
They had a
lot of injuries. I mean, and let's face it, the NFL should not have played that game. That game was dangerous weather. I mean, you saw what happened to Mahomes' helmet. It fractured and then blew apart. You had 69 people that had some kind of medical issues. 15 of them were transported to the hospital.
There was one fan shirtless.
Had hypothermia.
One fan shirtless.
Of them had frostbite. That's alcohol. But then, you had people had beers explode from the cold. It's just, they should have pushed that game off. They really should have.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you this, guys. I saw this all over Twitter.
Especially with
teams
real quick, Ty. The fact that they streamed that game on Peacock too.
Yeah.
That was some BS, man. That was some BS because you have some lifelong fans out there for the Dolphins that at my job site were like, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna buy a stream just to watch one game.
And that's where the NFL's going. That's where all sports are gonna end up going.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think teams, I saw this over Twitter, do you think teams like Kansas City, Buffalo, teams that get absolutely cold, even Green Bay, you could say, should have a dome, especially for this time of year? there's a lot of fans and a lot of former NFL players that were like, listen, yeah, cool. It's cool to play outside in the cold. Everyone thinks that. But you look at games like that, like Buffalo, like how long it took them to get their field ready. Like
Dude, they're gonna get snow again this weekend.
just put a dome over your field, and it's like it's not even an advantage at this point. Like who wants to watch a game or a playoff game, especially where they're probably gonna hand the ball off 20 times or more on each side and barely throw the ball.
It's kind of tough to force stadiums into getting domes because let's face it, it's going to affect the taxpayers, and then the owners are going to raise ticket prices. So like Chicago's trying to get a dome. It takes a lot of money, and could you imagine a place like Green Bay with all the history they have going to a dome? It just
they'd be same with
it
Buffalo.
takes away
they'd be pissed off. Chiefs too. It is
but I feel like
in a way.
I feel like Green Bay, you don't see a lot of huge snowstorms like you do in Buffalo. Buffalo is always getting hit with snow.
One of the coldest games ever was in Green Bay.
It's
the Ice Bowl.
Cold though.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it either because to Chris's point, it's like there's a trickle down effect when it comes to prices where they're going to want that back and taxes are going to get raised in the counties, whatever the case is. And I don't think overall what's next, then they've already done stuff with practice times and all that to limit how much guys can work out.
I think Buffalo is getting a new stadium though, but I don't think it's a full dome. I think it's a partial dome, just enough to cover the seats.
I forget what the renderings look like on that, but I remember it was pretty. And say when Tennessee's getting a new field soon. I think they're trying to push.
Yeah, I mean, because then
there's gonna be a lot of nice fields soon, man.
That brings up the whole argument, the artificial turf and the grass. There's not too many people that have domes that have real grass fields. I mean, Arizona's the only one I can think of that actually rolls their field out to let it get sunlight and then roll it back in.
God, and the Dolphins, it's like, hey, you beat the Bills last week of the season. You don't have this problem either. And you were playing them at home too, I think, right?
You imagine being Miami though, man. Like some of those guys never touched snow in their lives. Rolling up into Kansas City and it was like -5.
Yeah, it's just it was. I just think it was a tough day for football in a whole. I think the best game was the Rams and Lions.
Dude,
everything else was just kind of like mediocre. I mean, the Cowboys game was over by the end of the first quarter.
I mean, Dallas came back. I mean, they had to put Green Bay had to put their starters back in because for a split second there was a chance.
It was junk time. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, yeah, Dak had 400 yards passing." Oh, yeah, he did, but he didn't have that to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
when they warmed up their bus and ready to leave.
The only close game really was that Rams Lions game. Come to think of it,
that was the best game.
Yeah,
that went back and forth. But everyone's saying Belichick, like. Belichick's 29-38 without Brady, and Dak Prescott's not Brady. Even though Belichick has a 500 or better record against everyone in the NFL, he has only been to 2 playoff games without Brady, and he lost both of them in the wild card round.
Well, Brady, I think Brady and Atlanta haven't been interviewing together.
Well, Brady actually defended McCarthy and said that the Cowboys.
I meant Belichick. McCarthy. I meant Belichick. Belichick and
he's been on Arthur Blank's yacht all day.
Well, I guess like he's looking for like a project where there's a team with like that has decently young talent that he can actually build upon and not have to like.
Dude, they're quarterback away.
They're quarterback away.
Up Russell Wilson. Pick up Russell Wilson or somebody.
They pick up Justin Fields. They have that division.
Yeah,
they have that division. They have that division.
They got great weapons.
Let me ask you guys this: who won the Rams and Lions trade? You had Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. Stafford goes to Super Bowl, then has a terrible year, then has a decent year this year.
It's a tie.
It's hard to pick. I mean, I feel like you lean towards the Rams because they end up winning the Super Bowl with Stafford. But now, like, if you look at it, though, it's like, are the Lions set up for a good amount of years now?
Absolutely.
Who did they draft with those picks?
They drafted the linebacker and the running back, Gibbs.
Gibbs. Okay,
and they got that linebacker from Iowa, I think he's from.
Rodriguez.
Did they get Laporta, the tight end, too? No, they didn't. Okay.
Yeah, they got Laporta.
But you look at it, too, it's like,
they got Laporta, Gibbs, and they got that linebacker from some. I can't think of them.
I think why the Lions win, though, is because it's like, how much does Stafford have left? Because, like, these injuries that he takes year in and year out, they look bad.
Did you guys see the hit on him? He got hit by Hutchinson and then another dude, and then it looked like one of them, like, stepped on his shoulder, and he looked concussed all at the same time.
Yeah, he was looking to the stars.
Comes out, and he looks like freaking Superman. Like,
yeah,
They got Jack Campbell. Sorry to interrupt. Jack Campbell.
You're good. I like how the last play of the game, all the Rams fans are like pass interference, pass interference. All these Saints players and fans said, because when the Rams had pass interference against the Saints and it wasn't called, they tweeted out and
Mhm.
they were like, just get over it. So all these Saints players and fans are just, it is what it is. Get
Get
over it.
get
Stop.
over
Don't
it. Get
cry.
over it.
Don't cry.
Dude,
That was a great game,
and
man.
you
I'm
know,
happy
and
for
you
the
know what?
Lions.
Detroit still has issues defensively. I did have a note somewhere. I mean, they came to play. They came to play. I have a stat somewhere. I'll have to find it. Um,
Well, and
it's
like they're building it the right way too, inside the trenches. Same with like what the Eagles have
Yeah.
done, what the
Great offensive
49ers
line,
have
good off
done.
defensive line.
yeah, right
That
here.
they're
The
going to be
Lions
tough
pass
to beat.
defense. Lions pass defense is the sixth worst in the NFL, and the scoring defense is the bottom 10. But they showed up. They showed up at the right time.
That is a great question, Ty, because you look at the Super Bowl, but I think after this big win against them, you almost like and the draft picks they got, that like
Who set up better,
it's
you know what I
almost
mean?
split. It's got to, yeah, they're definitely set up better for the future. The Rams have been,
It's tough to
I don't
look
know.
at. Now let me ask you guys this. Baker beats the Eagles, not Baker, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers win 32-9. Only time ever that I'm going to cheer for the Buccaneers. Baker throws three
To the
touchdowns, almost 400 touchdowns. Is Baker, we talked about this earlier, based off the year that he had. How much do they extend Baker for 2 to 3 years, or do they go get another quarterback? Like, do you think Baker has earned that right to
You
be
have
like, I
to.
could be here for a little bit?
I don't know
So
because there's reports out there that are saying that Minnesota, depending on what Minnesota, Tampa Bay, they do in free agency, they could be looking at Russell Wilson.
Who could be looking at Russell
who?
Wilson?
Tampa Bay, Minnesota, depending on what they do in free agency, because
No,
they have
no,
key free
no,
agent
no.
players leaving.
I'm no. I would
Me personally, I mean, Russ is only going to have a 37 million cap hit.
heck no.
Yeah, but if you're the
You
Bucks, why
gotta
would
you
you
gotta
not bring back?
re-sign Baker.
Yeah, you
He
got to
went
re-sign
so
him.
I got the stats: 64% completion percentage, over 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a
Wow.
90, almost a 95 QBR.
Listen,
Q
you
rate.
can't fill Brady's shoes, but
But
he did a great job.
But you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen to Baker?
Rashad White, you got
You know what's going to happen to Baker? Mark my words. The 49ers defense is going to manhandle him, and everyone's going to rip Baker saying he's not the quarterback.
Yeah, but what if they shock the nation? They beat him.
Dude, they better be on their 100% game and everyone's fucking flying around because the 49ers are solid.
Listen, I think Baker is going to have a market. I think that there's going to be teams that are going to be interested in him. But if
absolutely.
I'm him, you stay with
He's
where you
cheap.
just you stay where you succeeded, and you have succeeded well in Tampa, and you're in a
Isn't
division that
Evans a free agent, though?
Evans is
I
a free.
would
I don't think Evans is going to come back, but he had a good connection with Godwin. Draft the receiver.
I hate that I'm saying this. I would swap if they want a deal. Hey, you take Cousins, we'll take Baker.
Interesting.
He's a little bit younger. He's like 5, 6, however many years younger.
Yeah, he is. He is younger.
I don't like
Dallas,
Wilson. Wilson just seems like
I think
his
Wilson's not in his
confidence just
prime
seems
anymore.
lost. And yeah, and he's
Dallas
close
just
to the
came
age
in.
of Kirk.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
he should
changing his name to
change
one
his
and
name.
done.
Oh my gosh.
Change it to BB, double B, Bill. No.
No, don't say that
Baker,
horrible
I think
word.
Baker. So what? He signed the 1 year deal with
4 million,
Tampa,
but he's been hitting a lot of incentives though because of how well he's been playing
okay.
making it to the playoffs, making another round.
I'd be shocked if he didn't get a 3 or 4 year deal after this. Like it would be stupid not to extend him,
I think three.
or
Three's a good one.
another team signs on to him.
I think
Heck,
three.
the
Do you,
freaking Carolina. Bring it back to No, I don't think
you
he wants to
guys
go.
you guys think that the Eagles end up firing their head coach? Because I don't think they do. I mean, you finished 1-6, and Eagles fans are ruthless towards anyone that
Wouldn't
sucks.
surprise me.
But
Wouldn't
it's like
surprise me.
you're talking about a guy that just took his Super Bowl last year. You were 10-1 at one point.
You want to talk about a team that quit?
Those players gave up on each other, man. They lost that locker room.
Dude,
Mhm.
and if they would have lost to
Yes.
the Giants and the Bills, they would have lost 8 of their last game. They would have been 0-8.
How crazy is
It's
that?
crazy.
I mean, they were. I really think that D and the offensive coordinator really hurt them this year because you saw what Scheichen, what's his name, shit, the head coach for the Colts. You saw what he did with that offense all year. Like man, something was different this last half of the season after starting whatever they did 10-1 and
But then
maybe
you have
injuries. I don't
AJ
know.
You have AJ Brown who like basically scrubs his accounts of all the Eagles stuff,
That's so
throws
dumb.
a fit, is a no show at practice, and then he goes to a freaking boxing match before the freaking playoff game. I mean,
Doesn't play either.
that's the thing, man. These players get paid so much money, and then there's so much drama with these guys. You know, Diggs is another one. Stephon Diggs is another one. You know, he goes from Minnesota to Buffalo. He's not happy with Buffalo, and the only time he's happy is when he's winning or he's receiving freaking passes. You can never just please these guys. You really can't.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Some other news that happened today that I've been talking about all year. Saints have finally parted ways with Pete Carmichael. Gone. See you later. That is vacant. Our running back coach just went to the Giants. That's gone. We're trying to have a better run game. Wide receiver coach gone. See you later. I don't think Michael Thomas is to come back. I don't think Michael Thomas is going to come back, but based off his Instagram stories, I would please don't give me Gruden. Don't give me. I think Gruden ruins the culture. I think Gruden is an interesting idea. He's old school, but I want something new school. I want the Lions offense corner. I want the Rams quarterback coach or offense corner they were talking about. You know, something new that can spark an offense and score more. I just think Gruden coming in, like we have a Ronald Curry, our QB coach. They allowed him to call some of the plays this year, and he was brilliant. Brilliant. Like, I'd rather have that than Gruden. Like, I'd rather see a young guy that can go out there and do something spectacular. I just truly think, man, you bring Gruden in and it's a bad image for the fans. It's going to affect your free agency. And I'm all about giving people second chances, but I just think it ruins a culture. Like, I don't want you to bring you don't bring that into a locker room. When Dennis Allen is kind of like, there's a lot of rumors. Does he have the locker room? Does he not have the locker room? And then you bring Gruden in. It's like, did you really lose the locker room then? I'm very excited to see what happens as far as who we sign. I'm excited to see what happens like that. You know, we just talked about the Eagles. I wanted to bring up these stats. Jalen Hurts had 3,850 yards passing. Derek Carr had 3,900. 25 touchdowns compared to Jalen's 23. 8 interceptions compared to Jalen's 15. Who had a better season? Come on now. Come on now.
And the fumbles. I mean,
Dak Prescott did.
Dak. And to your point, Ty, Gruden doesn't have the personality for an offensive coordinator. Like,
but
he's a head coach through and through. So,
and I like the hard. I like guys that come in with a personality that is tough, and they don't put up with crap, right? I like that. I respect that. I just think that he brings a lot of baggage with him.
Yeah, all I gotta say is if we get that NFL player that comes on, that guest that we're working on, the first question I'm asking him is, do players really quit on their coaches?
Ooh.
Yeah, he'll be like, all right, I'm leaving.
That's a great question.
Because we hear that a lot. We hear that a lot, how players, like the Eagles, let's face it, the Eagles had a lot of injuries. The Eagles got a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, but everyone wants to bash Sirianni. You know what? They had a lot of injuries in their secondary, you know. So why is it always the coach, you know, that gets, why can't it just be that it just was a great year? We had some bad injuries, and this is what happened to us.
I think that's the Vikings.
We don't see what happens but we don't see what happens in the locker room though, like what's being said, what's being done. But also, I do think I think there's divas obviously out there.
I think the team likes Sirianni though. I
don't know about that.
Yeah, like was it the coach or was it Jalen?
I heard a lot of stuff about Jalen too. In the game, you saw Jalen arguing with Devontae Smith. And then Goddard came over and ripped into Jalen.
Oh, I didn't see. Ooh.
You know, the Eagles actually are the Eagles are the 6th team to make the playoffs after finishing 1-5 or worse, and they only had a +5 point differential, and that's worst all time for 11-win teams.
Well, that's like they have Swift. They didn't use him like almost all game. They didn't use Swift like all game.
But they averaged. The other thing that's crazy is they averaged over 200 yards rushing. And they just went away from it. They went away from the run.
That falls on coaching, though. That right there falls on coaching.
Yeah, that does. That absolutely does. But
they said the Saints might be on Hard Knocks, dude. You know, this might be the year that we finally get a Saints Hard Knocks, dude. And let me be honest. I don't want Gruden, but if Gruden came in, dude, that would the ratings would be pretty high on the Saints going into camp this year with Derek Carr and Gruden.
Dude, Gruden still has a lawsuit against the NFL.
I know he does. And the
NFL wants to go to a private session because they don't want this all to be known. I guarantee the NFL stuck it to him somehow, some way. And
I
just
still
like
think it's
just
crazy
like
that
the
they were
Colin
able
Kaepernick thing,
to
you know.
enter his emails. And granted, what he said
This-
isn't right if that is what he says, but just that someone could stick their hands in your stuff.
Same way. I'll never let this go either. Same way with Trevor Bauer getting blackmailed by the MLB. That whole case was a
Dude, that was
complete fraud.
BS when he,
Yeah.
The woman
yes,
was texting friends saying, "Oh, he's gonna be making da 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 this money. I think I can get like that." The whole and
dude,
that
it's
those charges
crazy.
got dropped. He didn't have to pay her shit.
Yeah. Dude, he was proven innocent.
Yep.
It's
I would
crazy.
sue the
But it was
MLB.
the
I'd
thing
sue
with
the
Spider
MLB. I'd
Tack.
sue the Dodgers.
Yeah, but you're not gonna win. That's just the thing. Like everything's set up for you to fail.
You'd be surprised how much you'll win.
Listen.
They'll settle. They'll settle, get the publicity taken out of the news.
Listen, the Saints Hard Knocks, though, dude, I would die for that. I would die for that. Hey, let's go into the division round. I want to pick some picks here. I want to hear
Yes.
you guys. I got some hot
Same.
picks ready to sizzle up.
I'm done.
envelope,
What
and
was our records anyway? By the way, what
I
was
think
our
we
record
were
for
all.
round
I
one?
think we were all
3.
3-3.
Yep. I was on the Browns. You guys got the Texans. I think Ty picked Steelers. We both picked Bills, and then you guys picked Dolphins. I picked Chiefs, and Ty picked Bucks, and I think us two. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
baby, I did pick the
either way, we
Bucks.
were 3-3.
All right,
You
let's
know
go
what?
to the
This is
first.
crazy. Real quick. If Flacco would have won, he would have tied. He would have tied Tom Brady for the most road wins in a playoff series. He would have had whatever his record was.
That was a tough game
and
to watch because I didn't know who to root for.
yeah, yeah.
That was another stadium though. That was cool to see popping. Hey, this is gonna be an amazing game though. Like last week was good, and this week is gonna be good. No Peacock games either
Yep,
this
yep,
week.
yep.
Saturday,
God.
January 20th, we have the Texans playing the Ravens. Ravens had a first round bye. Lamar Jackson, OBJ. Listen, listen to me closely. I'm taking
I'm
the
going
Texans. I'm going Texans, baby. I know Lamar has had an amazing year. They got good weapons. I like the
Time
Texans.
to choke. Time to choke like he does every year.
I like the Texans here, man. Ace, who you taking?
You know me. I got a stat then.
Let me do. I got to take Ravens.
Mhm.
Ace
Couple
always goes
reasons.
against us.
I mean, it would be hard. Couple reasons. Johnny's family loves they're living out there, so they're huge Baltimore fans, so that's part of it. Plus, it'd be like, man, I could not see as great as Stroud played. I can't see him duplicating that against the Ravens defense, especially
Yeah.
at home. But we'll see. And it's not going to be. It's
Never
probably
say
gonna be
never,
shitty
baby.
weather.
He's
It's
got
gonna
God
be a
on his
great
side,
game.
man. He's got God on his side, giving the glory to him every press conference.
This is my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite matchup outside. Yeah, even beyond the Chiefs and
This is
Bills,
gonna be a
just
good
because of the
game.
weather.
This is gonna be
Yeah,
The
shootout.
thing is,
I'm excited.
the
I
thing
think
is
it's gonna
going
be
to suck
shootout.
is if the weather's bad, it's going to suck because it's going to be a Lamar run for 200 yards. But real quick, the Texans they won 11 games this season, including the playoffs. They won a total of 11 games in 2020, 2021, and 2022 combined. They're the third team in NFL history to win a postseason game with a rookie quarterback and a head coach, tying the 1945 Rams, who did it with a Waterford and a Walsh as the coach, the 2008 Ravens with Flacco and Harbaugh, and the 2009 Jets with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan.
Hey, do you extend him now to avoid
Ooh.
having to give him an even bigger contract in like 2 years?
Yeah,
Extend
you ride
him
and then
now
you
and kick that can down the road for a couple 4 years.
He's got an agent. He's not taking no contracts now.
Yeah.
All right, we
You know what?
have
You give him his 5th-year option, then you get him, you let him go, and you pick up Baker Mayfield.
this is right here. This is gonna be my hot take of the day. Right here. You got the Packers going into the 49ers, 12-5 49ers. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. This is my hot take. I gotta have
You
one
already
every
picked the
week.
Texans.
That's not a hot take. All right, that's not a hot take.
Really? They're both #1 seeds.
No. Is that a hot? You think that's a hot take? I think that's a
Yes.
reasonable take. I think it's a reasonable take. I just think the Packers got something going, and this is nothing against the 49ers because my pick is obnoxious right now. I know the 49ers are just so talented, but there's just that little gut feeling that's twinkling in there where I'm like, I could see the Packers pulling out a win. Aaron Jones is healthy, and he looks great. I mean, he's been rested almost all year.
Yeah.
That defense didn't play too bad. That defense was questionable because they let Dallas come back.
Yeah, but they weren't starters.
All I'm saying is Green Bay's hot. It's not gonna be cold. It's gonna be a nice day out there in California. I'm writing it down right now. I'm writing down Packers, Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I love that. I love that over 250 passing yards. Did they? I can't even remember if they played the 49ers earlier in the season.
Niners are 9.5 favorites.
Oh my God. You know what, Ty? I'm gonna side with you. I like the
Oh
Packers. I
man.
kind of had that feeling after they went into Dallas. I think it's gonna be monumental. Like they're gonna have to play the best game of the year, obviously, to beat the 49ers. But how cool would it
How
see?
cool would it be?
How cool would it be? Yeah, then arguably between the Ravens and the 49ers, number one seeds almost throughout the year, and then boom, both of
You
them go
like you think
down
about
week
Dallas,
one.
Eagles, and then the 49ers, like the three-headed monster just drops. Well, I think the Lions would be the three-headed monster there, but yeah.
I'll ride
Well,
that.
the Packers tied the Patriots for all time playoff wins with 37, but they're not breaking that record. I think the 49ers are the best team left in that division. And I think that the 49ers handle them. They do what the Cowboys couldn't do.
Wait,
Yeah,
Chris,
let's
did
be
you say
honest.
Ravens? Did you say the
No,
Ravens? Or
No, he
no.
said Texans. I
I
have it
said
written down.
Texans.
okay.
Let's be real. The 49ers are probably going to win, but I have a feeling.
Yeah.
And when I have a feeling, it's like blackjack ace. You always hit me.
I'm
I never
I'm
stay.
riding.
I never stay. Hey, we have Sunday's game at 3 p.m. That's a weird time. The Buccaneers going into the Lions. Baker, you had a great year, man, but I'm sorry it's time to sit on the couch. It is Jared Goff's time. He's going to be in the Super Bowl this year. That Eminem is going to be hyping up that crowd again. His palms are sweaty. Their knees are weak, and Baker's arm is heavy. That was a good one.
Oh,
Baker's going home.
Are they eating mom's spaghetti?
They'll be
He's
eating.
not-
They'll be eating Slim Shady's mom's spaghetti because the Lions are going to win this game.
that was great. And
I'll be
I
sure to make a
agree.
clip out of that.
Absolutely. I think the Lions, both sides of the ball, should be able to control just like they've pretty much done all year. Ty, you could be onto something. You could see them in the Super Bowl. I could totally see that now after what happened last week. I got the Lions as well.
There you go.
I got the Lions.
What? It's the
Got the
first sweep we
Lions.
have here, man.
Oh,
Last
no, the
game,
last
last
one was the
game, and I
Cowboys
hope
last-
this one. I hope this last game. We see this every year, and this is always a great matchup. You're the Kansas City Chiefs going into Buffalo, baby, and Buffalo's winning this one. There's no coin toss happening this time. Not Jared Goff. Josh Allen, he's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. Stephon Diggs is going to have 100 yards receiving. Kansas City's only going to have maybe 10 points. Buffalo's winning this game.
I think I like that too, Ty. The offense is not the same for the Chiefs this year. If Buffalo can get pressure, they are smaller on defense, so maybe you look for Pacheco again to get the ball a ton. They'd be stupid not to, given the weather. I think the Bills are way more balanced offensively this year than they have in the past with James Cook. Bills 34, Chiefs 16.
I love that.
Oh no.
I love that. I love that.
Especially if Taylor's in town too. I love you, Taylor, but I mean,
yeah, and I'll be honest. If Patrick Mahomes wins this game, respect to Patrick Mahomes not having a lot of weapons because Rice is getting hot. Rice is getting hot with him.
Look, it's going to be a different game than what they did against Pittsburgh. Buffalo is a good team. I had them going to the Super Bowl, but I honestly think this is going to be a closer game. It's going to be a low-scoring game because they are calling for more snow there. Kansas City has one of the best defenses in football right now. Does Gabe Davis come back and help the Bills out? Not sure. They just lost. They just lost another key defensive player. Buffalo did, a linebacker.
Oh shoot!
I'm saying the Bills win it, but it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a 17-14 game.
Oh. Yeah, I feel pretty confident in my picks, I'll be honest. You know, the Packers and 49ers one is definitely intriguing. I don't know how real that one is, but I could go 4-4 right here. Got a 50-50 chance.
Lions and Bills. I like that.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Go ahead and bet it all on red, baby.
Here's another quick stat for the Cowboys and Eagles. It was the 5th time in NFL history the division sent multiple teams to the playoffs to not have either held the lead or advanced to the next round.
What did I say about that division?
The last time it happened, 2021. It was the Eagles and Cowboys did it then. They lost to the Bucks and 49ers respectfully.
What does that say about that division?
Yeah, we're good in the regular season. It doesn't matter. We still freaking are better than the Saints.
Saints play Dallas on the road this year, baby. Maybe Derek Carr comes into your town and just stops on Jerry's throat, baby.
We're 16-1 at home, baby. We're 16-1 at home.
Add a 1 to that column. Add a 1 to that column.
Who do you guys think? Who do you guys think get hired first, Belichick or Jim Harbaugh?
Belichick. I think Belichick's going to sign with Atlanta real quick.
Is he using Atlanta for
He's-
leverage? I mean, no one else is
No,
even calling him.
because we've talked about Atlanta and how Atlanta is like a hot spot that we would want to go to because you have young talent there and you're literally just a quarterback away in a dome with probably a lot of money in a weak division right now.
Jim Harbaugh's 52-39 as a head coach in the NFL.
Dude, he's gonna leave Michigan, man. That's so. I
Wow.
said to my
He
buddy,
is. He is.
I said to my buddy last night, man. Our starting quarterback's gone. Our starting running back's gone. Our defense is gone. It's orgy
But where
time.
would you rather
Unfortunately,
be though? Where would you rather be though? Would you rather be in college where you don't get a day off?
I'd rather be
I mean,
in
you gotta-
college.
you-
I think,
you-
man. Just
you
like
could-
I think
but-
it'd be so fun.
But they don't get no family time. They really have to go into recruiting, the whole 9 yards. He just lost JJ McCartney. They just lost the running back.
Yeah.
They just lost their best receiver, and they're losing a lot of defensive players and
I just think-
offensive line
I
players.
just think NFL, like, yeah, it'd be fun, but like, I feel like the atmosphere of a college game because they're still kids and they're fighting for something. I just think it'd be. I just think
the atmosphere is
pregame-
amazing.
pregame, like just walking around. Hey guys, what's up?
He
You know?
works anywhere.
Like,
I
look, I'll
think
take Jim Harbaugh to the
Harbaugh-
Cowboys. I'll take Harbaugh to the Cowboys if he brings that defensive coordinator with him.
I like that
I
defense.
feel like Harbaugh would be like, sure, Harbaugh has always had the freaking leverage. Great for him. Great for the agent. If you're an idiot, if you walk out of LA not staying with the Chargers, you're an absolute idiot. That's
don't
one
know,
of the
because
top quarterbacks. In
I
the
like
league.
I like Herbert, but I mean, like, they're
Keenan
not the youngest.
Allen,
They're not
Mike
the
Williams
youngest
coming
team
back,
though.
They got
But
yeah,
the
but I
problem-
mean, defensive, like
Like
there's-
Eckler's not going to stay. Eckler's not going to stay. He's probably gone. He
Uh-huh.
wanted to be traded. You know, Khalil Mack's
him.
getting owed.
let him. Yeah,
Let
him-
Eckler walk. You pick up Saquon.
Yeah, yeah.
Keenan Allen's getting old.
Keenan's
But that's
still
that's
productive,
one of the
though.
problems. That's one of the problems with the Chargers. You have a good quarterback, but your top two receivers get hurt every year, and your linebacker
Yeah.
gets hurt. I mean, your tight end gets hurt every
There's just
year.
a lot of injuries in not San Diego, LA, and I don't. Atlanta
Don't
looks
they have
hot,
that Joshua
man.
Palmer? Don't they just draft
They-
that Palmer guy? I think he's from USC or something like that. He
I
had a
don't know,
good
but
year.
Atlanta looks nice, man. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. Atlanta looks
Yeah.
real nice. Atlanta looks.
It's a
I'm
dome, so Bill don't have-
gonna say
Bill's
this,
gonna wear his
man.
hoodie.
I'm gonna say this. I think Dennis Allen is one offense coordinator away from being a good squad. He's a top 10
problem with Bill
defense. He's
Belichick,
a
though,
top
is-
10 defense every year.
The problem with Bill Belichick is he was the GM with the Patriots for years. Who's going to give him all that power?
Maybe he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Maybe he can finally focus on just coaching.
I don't
Yeah.
think he wants it either, but in that case though, he's got to trust the GM, and I think that Atlanta's had a GM for a while, so maybe there's.
You're going to see him
I
in
don't
that dome with sleeveless hoodie on.
Dude, yeah,
I'd love that.
It's a warm division.
it is.
Yeah. Saints are in the dome. The Carolina's nice. Tampa's beautiful. I mean,
And it's the worst division in football, so he's got a good chance to win the division.
Is it the worst division of football though? I mean, stat wise, like, I mean, there were a lot of
Absolutely.
teams there were a lot of teams that sucked this year, and your division who was supposed to be the best though just got eliminated in the first round. So what's that tell you about my division?
No, we weren't the best. We weren't the number one seed.
I'm
That
not
was the
saying you were.
49ers. Look, Cowboys, we're the best regular season team in football. Stats don't lie. We have 36 wins in 3 years. You can't take that away from us.
okay, in 3 years, sure. Not this year. Sorry. We can't.
Well, we hope you all enjoy this podcast. We're digging deep for some guests for you guys. I'll be honest. Who knows what's gonna happen? Probably won't. Our luck. But
So if we get that one, it's going to be an amazing day.
Yes.
it would be an amazing day.
Even
But
the-
his personality, though, like I feel like we'd have to be cautious with the questions. It'd be very like lay back fun.
We
You
might
can't
get
be
more
like,
views if he hangs up
can't-
on us.
you can't come in there and be like, hey, what? Do players just lose a lot of respect to their coach in the locker room? He's like, yeah, you need to see me
It's a
drop
legit-
kick that one guy.
It's a legit question. It's a legit question. Do players quit on their coaches? You hear about it in the media all the time. He's not playing right now, so he can answer it.
I want to know what studio he recorded his first album
Is that career better than his football career?
in.
You know
No,
who-
we're not
you know-
talking
you-
about
you know-
AB. We're not talking about AB.
You know who at least responded to me and told me no? Coach Jim Mora. You know who Coach Jim Mora is?
Playoffs?
Yeah.
He actually got. That's awesome.
Yeah,
though,
he
that
said no can do, Tyler. Maybe another time.
another time.
Yeah.
No, dude,
It's not like he has a lot going on right now.
Yeah, I know.
Why would he even say another time? Like, what? He's just expecting you not. dude, set a reminder for like 3 months from now and ask him again.
hold him to it.
Well, you said another time. Like, come on, you know you're damn.
I got a notification that there was a message in the box. I got a little excited. Like,
But the great thing is I want to say thank you to all my ex-members out there that really are showing us the love. We've got 4,300 followers now, which is amazing. So we're going in the right direction.
yeah.
And Chris is gonna up those polls. This one was a great one. Realistically, probably not gonna happen with Micah Parsons getting traded, but
Yeah, it just throws it
something
out
to
there. It gives you content to talk about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And the thing at the end of the day is you know what? We have nothing else to talk about right now. Their season's done.
We hope you guys continue to share the sport. Love this episode, and we'll see you guys next time on the Everything Goes podcast.